Hello everyone, my name is Marina Moon and welcome to my review of the Land Sky Oracle by Teresa Hutch. So this is an independent deck. The artist is actually based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is a few hours from where I am, so it's kind of neat. I feel like I'm buying locally. But anyway, I was really excited when I came across this deck a few days ago because it is a deck that is based on the 8 limbs of yoga. And I usually don't hit buy that quickly. I usually follow the hashtag on Instagram, or I will, kind of let that sit and simmer for a few weeks or months. And then if I'm still wanting to buy it, I'll buy a deck. But something about that really appealed to me. And so I'd like to share a little bit about my story. And obviously would like to share the images. I should also mention too, if you're just interested in the flip through, the time where I start that, it will be in the description box below. So please feel free to skip to just the images if that's what you're here to see. So I remember several years ago, I listened to Sadhguru's video on YouTube. And if for those of you not familiar with Sadhguru, he's a self-taught guru of India. And I think he's very well known there. But I remember him saying that the way yoga is taught in the West, or through most of the Western culture, that it isn't helpful as a way to achieve spiritual growth, advancement, enlightenment. And I was always really confused by what he meant when he said that. The video actually didn't really explain, he didn't explain that in the video. But when I came across this book, So Meditations from the Mat, which is kind of a daily devotional for yoga. You kind of read a couple pages a day. In this book, the very first diagram really intrigued me, and I had never heard about the 8 limbs, the 8 paths of yoga. And I was really fascinated, and the whole book is based on kind of going through the 8 limbs and helping you understand what yoga really is. And in my limited understanding, it is a way to achieve unity, not only between your mind, body, and spirit, but kind of unity in the world. I have heard it said that yoga means in union with, that's one interpretation of it. And so I really wanted to learn more about this. So I do have other books on yoga. I have The Heart of Yoga. But, some of that stuff is really dense. Some of that stuff is really hard to understand at times. And so when I saw the Land Sky Oracle, I thought that would be a way for me to learn more about this 8-limbed path in more bite-sized, doable pieces for me. Okay, so let me show you the first card in this deck. Okay, and so here we have Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga, and it goes through the different components, right? So some of these are things that you do. Some of them are things that you abstain from. So for example, the yamas are moral restraints. The niyamas are 5 observances. The asanas are the postures, what I thought was yoga, where it was just one piece of the yoga path. Pranayama is breathing. And I apologize if I'm pronouncing this wrong for those of you that are familiar with the pronunciations. So pratyahara is turning inward. Dharana is concentration. Dhyana is meditation. Samadhi is union of the self with the object of meditation. And so it goes through the different limbs of yoga, and it also has the corresponding elements, the corresponding practices or philosophies of that limb. I hope I'm explaining that right. I don't believe that this is this is a glossary, so to speak, of the cards, because I have gone through the cards, and or maybe it is. I'm trying to see. Yep, it is actually. I'm sorry, it completely is. So all the cards are listed here, and it also lists under what limb they fall under, which is kind of neat. All right. Okay. So one of the reasons why I was so excited when I saw this deck, and I'll start flipping through and continue to talk, is because learning yoga for me, at least the 8 limbs of yoga, seemed like such a really large task. But when I can draw a card each day, or maybe just go through the whole deck one day at a time without necessarily drawing one, I can meditate on that concept. I can learn about it first in the guidebook. I can then Google it and learn a little bit more about the concept on the internet. And then I can journal on it, and it'll help me, it'll give me a structure, a doable structure, I should say, for me to tackle and understand, explore, I should say, not tackle, and understand these concepts in a way that is doable for me. Okay. So one of the things you'll notice about this deck is that some of them are geometric patterns, such as these. Some of them are landscapes. And then some of them are animals, and those are my favorite ones. So the animal pictures are really sweet, but I do like the combination of the patterns, the landscapes, and the animals. When I'm looking at this deck, it has a very soft feel to it, a very simple Zen kind of feel to it. To me, it feels earthy and watery at the same time. And yeah, just very Zen-like, and I really, really love that. The artwork is very soft. I love that one. And the guidebook is not very big at all. It's more of a pamphlet. And if there's one change that I would love to see, would be a larger guidebook. I feel like this guidebook could be huge. And I would, if there was a separate guidebook, I would purchase it. All right. There's a lot of owls and cows. That's a great image. I love the fish, and I believe that's like one of those Japanese, I don't know, we call them Japanese fighting fish here. Here's another owl. That's beautiful. It's actually the cover of the box, and the box is actually it's a very nice sturdy box. The cardstock is thin, so let me show you here. It's thin cardstock, but it looks to me like it goes back into shape. It does not feel, I'm not a cardstock expert by any means, but when you get a pack of cards and the cardstock feels cheap. These do not. They feel actually pretty silky, they feel very silky to the touch, and they shuffle beautifully. So it's a little bit of a matte finish, but there's enough of a coating on it that it shuffles very well, but it's not sticky, which I really, really don't like when something is I don't mind glossy, but when it's glossy and sticky, I really don't like that. So it's a very nice shuffle. It's a fairly large size. I think it's typical for oracle cards. Another owl. And I don't think I've shown you the card backs, so I'm going to show you the card backs. That's beautiful. Another geometric pattern. And I believe, oh, this is an owl, another owl. Owls and cows feature very prominently in this deck. So that was the deck. Let me show you the guidebook as well. And like I said, the guidebook is very small. It's more of a pamphlet. And I'm trying to think. I think there are 39 cards. There are a few. There is one page on spreads. And let me give you an example of what you might find, of what information you might get. So the last card is, okay, I think this is, oh, they're in alphabetical order, I believe. Okay. Anyway, let me give you an example of the information that you would receive. For each card, we have about this much information. And like I said, if there's anything that I would change about the deck, it would be a much larger guidebook. So Yama is the moral restraints. A calf sits quietly alert. It symbolizes Yama, ways for you to thrive in the world. The yoga of relationships. Connect to a youthful innocence, open to the world as it is. Dive deep into your relationships and don't be afraid to let your inner light shine. And then it has a quote, I believe, these great vows are universal, not limited by class, place, time, or circumstance. And then it has a mantra, I thrive in the world by treating others the way I would want to be treated. So every card has a message of the meaning, something to kind of think about, to reflect on. It also has the path of yoga that card connects with, and then it has a mantra. So even though it's not very much, I feel like it packs a punch, like it's good information. Like I said, I'm just hungry for more. I wish there was more, but I could also see myself just like I said, Googling the word Yama and just really trying to understand the concept in a little bit bigger way, while also connecting to the meaning of that card for that day. Whatever I needed from that card, I would try to see and tune into that day if I had chosen a card, if I had drawn a card for the day. So yeah, that was the Land Sky Oracle. If you had any thoughts, if you own this deck and you have any experiences that you'd like to share, I'd love to read about them in the comments below. Again, my name is Marina Moon. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.